Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hiba.
And I'm Zaid,
You're listening to Diary of a Matchmaker.
a podcast that will take you into our world as matchmakers.
We'll share our experiences and offer advice for the single Muslim.
So let's dive in.
Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another episode of Diary of a Matchmaker. My name is Zaid and on the other mic is my wife and co-host Hiba.
Assalamu alaikum.
So most likely if you're listening to this episode and you're single, you're either on a Match Hole website or you're thinking about it, or maybe you're on an app. It's something that is pretty much the norm these days. Hiba and I were both on a matrimonial website, and that's how we got married. And we've seen a lot on matrimonial websites in terms of the way people make their profiles and what they try to do to make them stand out. So inshallah, hopefully through this episode, we're going to give you guys some tips and some advice on what you can do to increase your chances of finding a good match and what you can do on your profile to help with that.
Yeah, you know the funny thing is, these platforms could be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Very true.
Yeah, and if you ask people who use platforms, you're going to hear very different answers. They're going to be like, oh, my cousin met his wife on this website, whatever, 100 stories. And on the other hand, you're going to hear people who say, I was traumatized using these websites. I was harassed. I was scammed, ghosted, catfished, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So these tips, inshallah, will help you make the most out of them and make them work for you.
Yeah, inshallah. Tip number 1, talk about what you bring to the table. If you're a man, then think from the perspective of a woman. Understand what her needs are.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a woman, obviously you are a woman, Hiba.
That's what I identify as.
Good to know. What is the number one core need of a woman when she's looking to get married?
She needs to know that the man is responsible.
Okay.
That he is emotionally available. This is very, very important.
Okay.
She doesn't want to marry a robot. She doesn't want to marry a business partner or a boss. She wants somebody who can open up and can show his emotional side, maybe be a little bit romantic.
Let me jump in right here. So when you say responsible, what do you mean?
Responsible as in he's reliable.
He takes care of himself.
He takes care of himself. He can take care of a family. He's not just gonna run away like when the first problem happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
The responsibility shows seriousness as well.
I think that bleeds more into maturity than responsibility.
Maturity, but
right?
both of them, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Emotional maturity. We said no. What did we say? Emotional availability.
Yes.
And
so what does that mean?
Like I said, that he has his human side. He can be deep. He can be romantic.
He can make time to listen to her.
A listener. That was
share her emotions.
That's the next one I was gonna say. He's a good listener. Women we interview always say, I'm looking for someone who's a good listener, who is a good communicator, who doesn't have a temper. When we disagree, he's just like, he erupts, right?
Okay.
So this, like, women are looking for a lot of things, but this is just off the top of my head. And as a man,
one more. Sorry, go ahead.
As a man, your profile should show that you offer this, that you bring this to the table. You start with like some lines about you, few lines about you, about like your interests, your passions, what do you do, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what you bring to the table. So for example, if you are a good listener, you can say that my friends always mention that I'm a good listener. They come to me with their problems. If my friend calls at 1 a.m., they need, I don't know, like an emergency, I'm always there for them.
Right.
My
given
parents,
that these things are true.
Of course, we're not saying make up anything.
Right.
We're given that these things are true. My parents always make dua for me, like I'm a good son. And this has nothing to do with praising yourself. And this is not the place to be humble. It's not about being humble or praising yourself. It's just about being comfortable with your own skin and recognizing
own
your
skin.
strengths, right?
Yeah, so I would say double down on your strengths. And if there is one thing that your friends say is a key quality about you that really defines who you are, make that stand out in your profile.
Exactly.
Right.
I believe, for example, I believe the woman is the queen of the house, and I will do my best to make her feel safe, make her feel valued, appreciated. I will help out with home chores, house chores. Whatever, I will work hard to build a good relationship between my parents and my future spouse. So things that will, when a woman reads these things, she's like, oh, I want to get to know this person. This sounds like a good, like a marriage material person to me, right? And not just another profile.
Right. So, yeah, that actually makes sense. That you don't, because there's a fine line between talking about yourself and talking about what you're looking for in a match, right? And when you're talking about yourself, it's like you said, you're not trying to be humble or modest, but you're trying to come from a place where you are presenting the best version of yourself. And you are showing what you bring to the table. You're
sharing a genuine version of yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Not just the best version. So just be genuine and put some effort into it. Don't just build your profile in 10 minutes, upload 2 pictures, and then start hunting, I would say, right? Put some effort into it. Let the girl see that you invested time, that you're taking this seriously, and put in the work.
Yeah, and to add to that, you want your profile to be a magnet. Well, the thing that we've heard over and over again from people, and sometimes clients leave us because they just get burned out. And what they're doing is, instead of allowing their profile to be a magnet, they are just putting the wrong things on their profile, and they are spending all of their energy searching and hunting.
They're making a profile a repellent.
A repellent. That's the right word. So yes, when you're implementing these things as Hiba suggested, you're allowing your profile to be a magnet. And I remember Baba Ali talks about this so much, that he implemented a lot of these things because he understood what the core needs were of women. And many women messaged him, but he was clear about what he wanted, and he had his list of very specific questions, and there was only one girl that answered the questions correctly, and that was the girl he ended up marrying.
Yeah, subhanallah. So like what men are looking for in a woman are different from what men are looking for in a man, right? What women are looking for in a man. So don't think from like when building your profile, don't think from a man's perspective, because hopefully you're not trying to attract men, right? Where you're hoping to attract a woman. So think from a woman's perspective. And same thing for women now. When building your profile, try to think from a man's perspective. What is a man looking for? What are the core needs of a man, Zaid?
One of his needs is that a woman's going to be respectful of him. He's going to understand that he's the leader of the home, and that he won't be undermined. Because, as I've always said in the workshops, there cannot be 2 captains steering the ship.
Of course.
Right? We mentioned the hadith in the previous episode, talking about how the Prophet ﷺ referred to men as the shepherds of their home. So when a woman understands that and says that, somehow shows that in her profile, that I would be a means of support for my future husband, that I would let him take charge in certain matters.
I would respect his decisions.
I would respect his decision, that I would be by his side through good times and bad. That will win huge points for a man.
Instead of just flaunting your independence and your achievements and your education.
And there's nothing wrong with having those things, but those aren't the things that are going to attract a man.
Exactly. Yeah. These things could impress another woman, right? That you achieved all of that. You're a woman, you're independent and all of that, mashallah. And a man will respect your achievements as well. But when looking for a wife, he's probably looking, like you said, for somebody who's going to allow him to practice his leadership.
Yeah. I said this in the previous episode that, you as a woman, you could be a CEO, a politician, you could be whatever you want in society, and that's great. But at home, the husband is the leader, right? That you are a wife and you are a mother, and that the husband is the CEO or the captain of the home.
That's like basically the meaning of qiwama.
Yeah.
Men are maintainers of women.
Yes.
Yeah.
That word is interpreted many different ways. Caretakers, maintainers.
Like they maintain their affairs, they look after their affairs, and you don't have to worry about all of that.
Yeah. And I don't want my words to get misinterpreted. I'm not saying that women should be subservient. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that women have their roles and men have their roles, and that ultimately the man is in charge of the home, right?
The woman is in charge of the kitchen, though. So don't think you can go to the kitchen cupboards and just rearrange everything. No, that's not your department.
Yeah.
What are other needs, core needs of a man?
Other core needs, I would say somebody who will bring beauty to the home. Right. I remember Rabbi Ali mentioned this too, and the best analogy is like a painting. What a wife brings to the painting is the colors, is life. It's all the things that illuminate that picture. And the home is not much different. Right? When Baba Ali would talk about what a single bachelor's home would typically look like, right? You see toilet paper hanging from the ceiling. You wouldn't see salt and pepper. You would see the fridge is empty. There's probably shoe stains everywhere. It's filthy, because that's just how guys operate. But a woman's home is much different.
Of course.
Right? So understanding that when a woman enters the home, she's going to be filling the place with love and life and affection. And these are the qualities you bring. So how can a woman change her profile to reflect these needs of men? That's a good question. So wording is very important. I would say the best thing to do is just, like you said, it's no different than making a profile for a guy. Double down on your strengths. If there is a key defining quality about you, for example, you're always there for your friends. You are the one person that your friends come to for support. Talk about that. Give specific examples. We'll talk about specificity later.
So since we talked about leadership, then a woman can say on her form, if she actually believes that, I believe that a husband is the leader of the house. I will respect his decisions. I take care of the people I love. I love cooking. If you're good at cooking, men love home cooked meal. So I enjoy.
Is a huge win for guys.
I know. I love beautifying the house. I will be a means of support, like you said. Anything that you actually believe and is actually a quality of yours, mention that. Put on the lens of a man and try to think of why this man would be lucky to have you as a wife.
Yeah. Another thing to add, if you're more of a religiously oriented person, you could quote ayahs that relate to your perspective on marriage. If you strongly believe that men and women are protection of each other, then quote the ayah. Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahun.
Yeah, exactly.
That they are a garment for you and you are a garment for them. That will win you points too, because it'll demonstrate how connected you are to your deen, as well as your perspective on marriage.
Actually, one thing that male clients always mention when like deal breakers, someone who's not like a firm feminist or like who has extreme views on feminism and all of that. So again, think from a perspective of a man. He's not looking for a woman who's all about independence and all, because if you are that independent, then why would you need a man, right?
Right.
Yeah, a man likes to feel that he's needed. So let your profile reflect that.
Yeah, definitely.
Tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is specificity.
Mm-hmm.
This is so important because you have to understand that your profile is one of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, on any matrimonial website. So you need to show how you stand out from the rest. We've talked about deal breakers in the past, how we would always get generic deal breakers, people always saying the same thing over and over again. You know, somebody who smokes, somebody who doesn't pray, etc. So similarly, you want things in your profile that reflect you, your uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
So let's use an example of how somebody can make their profile specific.
For example, let's say when you're talking about your job, what do you do? So link it to something deeper, like, I don't know, a higher purpose that you're working towards. If you're a doctor, for example, so maybe your profile can show why you chose that profession. And of course, again, everything has to be genuine, nothing made up.
Yeah. If you're a doctor or if you're a pediatrician and you live in Toronto, there's I don't know how many Muslim pediatricians in Toronto.
Exactly.
That's not specific
so
enough.
You can't rely on your credentials and your career to sell you.
Out. Yeah, exactly. To stand out.
To stand out, exactly. Yeah. If you're a woman and you work with young children, then do mention that in your profile and link it to why a man would be lucky to have you as a wife. I love working with children. I believe children are the future of the ummah. I will take care of our children, our future children. Maybe I'm planning to homeschool our children. This is link it to something that's gonna help show your strengths. If you are a man, you work, I don't know, you're an entrepreneur. So you can focus on the fact that you, you enjoy putting yourself, getting out of your comfort zone. You like challenge, you like growth.
Financial independence.
Exactly.
Right.
Anything can make you stand out, because there are no two people the same.
Yeah.
We're all different in one way or another.
Yeah, and to add to that, and we mentioned this in previous episodes, that if you're going to, for example, using the entrepreneur example, when you're sharing your strengths about financial independence and things of that nature, you're naturally repelling people who aren't interested in that,
or risk averse.
Who are risk averse. So naturally, you're not going to be wasting your energy on people who won't support you in those endeavors. Mm-hmm. So that's another huge plus, where if you're spending the time on your profile and making that the best it can be, you are going to attract the right people naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or for another example, let's say you enjoy working out, then link it to something deeper. I believe our bodies are a gift from Allah. They are an amana from Allah. I plan to take care of my body, and I plan to take care of the health of my family. Anything can work to your advantage.
Yeah.
Even a disability can work to your advantage.
Yeah, you can weave these things into your goals that, I plan, inshallah, after marriage to continue going on hikes, to, having an exercise routine with my wife where we do certain things together.
Use this as a tool to connect and bring us closer. I plan to take care of your parents like I take care of my parents.
Right.
I have immense respect for the elderly, and not just mention information.
Yeah.
Not just leave the information like it is.
Yeah.
I like going to the gym. I like to travel. Something deeper. For example, I don't think anyone hates traveling.
Yeah.
At least that's what we've been seeing on our
Everybody
registration.
puts travel.
Everybody loves to travel.
Yeah.
But how would traveling make you stand out?
Yeah. I mean, everybody puts it on their forms.
Exactly. And everyone's looking for somebody who enjoys traveling.
Yeah.
But link it to something deeper again. So I don't know, I like traveling because I enjoy learning about new cultures, connecting with people. I
enjoy cuisine.
I enjoy cuisines. I like learning about new languages. I like to go and see the beauty of the world. It connects me to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So
the thing that underpins all of these things is authenticity, though. That has to be the running theme in your profile.
Of course.
Not just saying these things to win points, but as long as they are a reflection of who you are, inshallah, it will naturally attract the right person.
Exactly.
And last but not least, pictures.
Yeah.
Oh man, I could talk all day about pictures. Even professionally speaking, we still get pictures of guys where, like, the thing is, we put clear instructions on our registration form. We say we want a headshot and a body shot. And yet sometimes the body shot is half the body and the headshot is just like with
from the
side or something else. So please, guys and girls, invest in your pictures. I would say more so for girls, because guys are naturally visually driven.
I would argue the opposite, because girls would naturally invest in their pictures, but guys just like whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I would say invest in a photo shoot, or not a photo shoot, like go to a photographer.
Yeah, go to a photographer, get a professionally done picture in a studio or something.
No Photoshop, no filters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at one point they're going to see you in person and like you can't hide it, right?
Right. It does cost a couple $100, but it's well worth the investment.
Yeah.
Worth it.
First impressions are important.
Yes. Yeah. Smiles go a long way.
For guys, please, no frowning.
Yes. So yes, invest in pictures. And a personal frustration that I've witnessed when I was searching was girls who hide their profile pictures. Please, if you are on a matrimonial website, don't make it a hunting experiment for guys to find your picture, or make him have to message you to see your picture. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
If you're on a matrimonial website, you're looking to get married, right? So make it easier for the guy. Of course, make it appropriate, make it professional, make it, as clean as possible. But make sure that your picture is visible. And don't take pictures with your friends and make the guy have to figure out which one is you.
And also try, for guys and girls as well, but maybe a little bit more for girls, try to make your pictures natural. So even if you wear makeup, don't wear heavy makeup. Wear like...
You look like a different person.
You're unrecognizable. Exactly. Because many guys don't like excess makeup, and many guys don't like makeup at all. So just make it look natural. And for guys... Don't take pictures in the gym, flexing your biceps. Don't take pictures in front of, Lamborghini or something. Girls really hate that. Just be yourself. Like a smile goes a long way. Nice shirt, nice haircut. Get a fresh haircut before posting a picture.
These things sound like such common sense, but the thing that just came to my mind right now was our matrimonial event last year, when a guy came to the event with his shirt half open, and he's sitting across the girl that we matched him with, and we were just thinking, okay,
and it was a long
does this guy
date.
not care?
Yeah, it was a long thing, and the girl had to sit through it, and she said, I knew from the first 30 minutes that this is not a good match.
Yeah.
Right? So invest in these things, and maybe general tips for using the platforms. I don't know if you mentioned it. I can't remember. But don't message more than one person at the same time.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that.
Yeah. Or
personally, I'm guilty of this too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't message more than one person, but don't start talks with one person at the same time.
More than one person.
Exactly. Because it's just gonna make it very confusing for you to choose. You're gonna start comparing A to B, and it's not fair. Like, just invest your entire energy with with one person at a time.
Yeah, and to add to that, if you are about to message a girl, first of all, I said in the previous episode, read the form before you look at the picture. And if you are about to message a girl, mention some things that you found attractive in her
Read
form.
the profile,
Read
not
the
just the
profile.
picture.
So if you find out that the girl that you're interested in is a teacher, maybe mention, hey, I saw that you are a teacher. What grade do you teach? What motivated you to become a teacher? That'll win you huge points because you actually invested the time in reading the form.
Exactly.
Rather than saying, hey, Salam, I saw your profile, let's chat.
Exactly.
Right? And sending the same message to 10 different girls expecting a response. You're not going to get good results like that. So take the time to read the form. Mention something that you liked in their form, and inshallah it'll go a long way.
And one last advice, guys and girls at the same time, don't put on the profile, my wali is monitoring this account, message my wali first, or whatever it is. Even guys, I saw it. My son is a very busy doctor. If you're interested, talk to me. So this is a major turnoff. You're an adult. You are responsible, and assumingly you are ready for marriage. So take charge of your own affairs.
Exactly.
I think this was a much longer episode than usual, but there's just so much to share.
But yeah, just like we always say, definitely shoot us some fan mail. Let us know what your thoughts.
And if you like the podcast, by the way, give it a rating. Come on, it's free. Rate us on whatever platform you're listening to the podcast on. It helps us a lot in improving and growing.
Yeah, we take a lot of time trying to prep for these episodes. So it definitely helps us provide more value to you guys. So we appreciate it.
Okay,
till next time. Assalamu alaikum.